The 27 Club. Stars who didn't make it to 28. There are some jobs that nobody wants to do, and other jobs everybody wants to do but few can. Among those, being a celebrity is probably the most fun. But with great fame comes great danger, and a little too much happy time could land you in the 27 Club. Nobody is actually in the 27 Club because all of his members are dead. It's more of an idea. The theory goes that your increasing fame and outrageous partying lifestyle intersect with your mortality right around age 27. So let's look at some prominent members of the 27 Club and see if you think it's real. The 27 Club's first member to remember is Amy Winehouse. As the brightest shining and fastest rising female vocalist of the 2000s, Amy is the prototypical 27 Club member. She checked out exactly when she was at her peak. Amy Winehouse was born in London in 1983. She started singing professionally as a teenager and released her debut album Frank in 2003. Her meteoric rise to fame was intertwined with constant tabloid attention to her personal problems. Amy checked all the self-destructive boxes: violent outbursts and arrests, drug and alcohol abuse, and of course rehab. Her hit song Rehab even seemed to be tempting fate. Sure enough, in July 2011, at 27 years old, Amy Winehouse died of alcohol poisoning. Even after her death, Amy's music scored 8 top 10 singles simultaneously. Our second member of the 27 Club is probably the most famous guitarist of the 20th century. Jimi Hendrix started playing guitar at 15 and had changed the world's musical landscape before dying at 27. After sprinting from anonymity to stardom by playing backup guitar in several bands, Hendrix scored 3 top 10 hits in the UK. He became the highest paid musician in the world and headlined the legendary Woodstock Music Festival. But trouble followed Jimi Hendrix from an early age. Both his parents were alcoholics, and Hendrix seemingly inherited their addiction. In 1970, at age 27, Hendrix consumed a bottle of wine and 9 sleeping pills. He choked to death in his sleep. Various labels and family members fought over the rights to his recordings for decades. Third up is the guy who invented wearing a flannel shirt as a belt. Well, maybe not, but anyway, it's Kurt Cobain. As the lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain became the world's most popular icon of grunge music. Though he allegedly disliked mainstream attention, Cobain and Nirvana sold 75 million records worldwide. But Nirvana's dark and moody lyrics did indeed come from Cobain's dark and moody soul. Even before Nirvana achieved popularity, Cobain was already struggling with depression and heroin addiction. By 1994, at age 27, Cobain began attempting suicide. In March, Cobain escaped from rehab in Los Angeles and flew back to his home in Seattle. Then, sometime around April 5th, Kurt Cobain shot himself with a shotgun. A cousin later said that years earlier, 2 of Cobain's uncles had committed suicide with guns. Nirvana's popularity continued, eventually earning more money than any other deceased singer. Our fourth 27 Club member was the prototype for all hard-partying lead singers to follow. Jim Morrison was a poet, a filmmaker, a psychonaut, and of course the lead singer of The Doors. The Doors released their self-titled first album in 1967. It became an instant hit and propelled Jim Morrison to rock stardom. Jim's unruly behavior on and off stage frequently got the band fired or dropped from gigs, but added to his artist mystique. Jim Morrison embodied the rebellious youth culture of the 1960s. The Doors continued releasing one successful album after another, or at least they did until Jim turned 27. In 1971, while living in Paris, Jim Morrison reportedly died of a heroin overdose. Without Jim, the Doors never recaptured the glory of their early years. Along with Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix, the death of our fifth member of the 27 Club got the whole idea started in the first place. Janis Joplin had the stage presence, hard-partying reputation, and untimely death that legends are made out of. A friend of the Grateful Dead, Janis was a regular member of the Haight-Ashbury counterculture scene in the mid-60s. She got her big break performing at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967, the same festival where Jimi Hendrix made his US debut. Over the next 3 years, Janis's fame and infamy grew rapidly. But just like the other founding members of the 27 Club, Janis Joplin struggled with depression and drug abuse. In October 1970, at age 27, Janis died after injecting unexpectedly strong heroin. She died just 16 days after Jimi Hendrix. Our number 6 on the list is getting away from the music theme, but not too far. Jean-Michel Basquiat was one of the most hyped talents to come out of New York during the early 80s. In the late 70s, he started tagging the name Samo around southern Manhattan. In 1980, Basquiat started appearing in indie films and collaborating with pop artist Andy Warhol. He dated Madonna before she was big and collaborated with David Bowie. His art combined graffiti, poetry, and politics, and was much sought after by art collectors. But you won't be surprised to hear that he too had a dark side. By 1987, 27-year-old Basquiat was becoming isolated as his heroin addiction took over. He died of an overdose in August 1987. 30 years later, in 2016, one of his paintings sold at auction for $57 million. If you like reggae, you might have heard of our 7th 27 Club member. His name was Jacob Miller. Jacob Miller was the lead singer of Inner Circle, whose hit single Tenement Yard they performed in the movie Rockers. Hey, and if you haven't seen it, Google it. Throughout the 1970s, Jacob Miller rode the wave of reggae's increasing popularity. He worked with Augustus Pablo, King Tubby, Gregory Isaacs, Burning Spear, and many other reggae greats. In 1980, Jacob Miller and Bob Marley traveled to Brazil together. But upon returning to Jamaica, 27-year-old Miller suffered a fatal car accident. All right, I admit Jacob Miller might be a little bit obscure if you're not a big rocker sound system fan. But how about this guy, eh? He looks familiar, right? That's because he's Anton Yelchin. You know, Anton Yelchin, the new Chekhov from the last couple of Star Trek movies. Yelchin was born in the USSR in 1989. His family moved to the US and he quickly became a popular, if somewhat anonymous, child actor. His acting credits kept piling up, with 5 films released after his death. But Yelchin doesn't adhere to the hard partying template of the earlier 27 Club members. On June 19, 2016, he was crushed to death by his own Jeep when it rolled forward and pinned him against a brick wall. He was, you guessed it, 27 years old. So, Trivialist fans, do you think 27 is the most dangerous year to be a celebrity? Or are celebrities just prone to death every day of the week? Why don't you become a viral sensation and let us know? Until then, good night!